Welcome to a very special episode of Honestly with Tanmay. It's very cool because we are interviewing someone who insists on not being called sir. So I'm going to call you Ram.
I have not been knighted, so yes.
You haven't been knighted yet,
Yeah.
but someday.
Someday when the queen is still alive and thriving and kicking, so maybe hopefully.
Have you met the Queen?
Unfortunately, no, brother. I wish I could because I was in London recently.
Hmm.
My son kept asking because he's a huge fan of Crown, the show. So he's been saying, "How come you can't meet the queen?"
The Queen.
I was like, "Okay, I can't even meet the prince. What am I going to meet the queen?" So it's one of those things, tough.
What do you brag about in front of your son, though?
My son?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't let me brag. He actually keeps me grounded. Not just my son, my daughter. I could be a minister outside, but when I go back home, I think as Indra Nooyi put it in her autobiography, she said her mother advised her to leave the crown in the garage. So when you go home, you're just a dad.
Got it.
They don't give a damn. They snatch my remote. They don't let me wash.
What do they make fun of you for?
Lots of stuff. Trust me. When I try to act cool and all that, they're like, "You're an old man. What are you doing?" And when I try to speak their lingo, they're like, "That's not cool."
Do you know what the young cool lingo is?
Well, not really. I would like to say yes, but yeah, sometimes when I use words like dope and all, they're like, "Okay, that's not cool. Don't say that." So, yeah.
Dope is so 2012.
Okay, sorry, but I'm stuck a decade ago, brother.
All right. How old is your son?
My son's 17. He's going to be turning 17 in about 10 days. So.
Oh, excellent. My demographic. Perfect. Perfect.
Good.
And is he very studious?
Well, on camera, I have to say yes, he is.
Yeah, but not my demographic. Not my demographic.
No, zyada nahi. Thoda.
And daughter?
Daughter's 13.
Okay.
She's somebody who's interested in music, writing, and a bunch of other things. So maybe your demographic again.
My demographic again.
Yes, Insta.
Do they have any? Do you think about how their lives are dramatically different because they're your children? Have you ever thought about that?
Yes, they don't have a normal childhood, is what I know, especially in Hyderabad, because they can't go out. They're stifled for freedom in the sense. So I do tell them once in a while that possibly going elsewhere is not such a bad idea for them. But yeah, so.
And are they toying with that idea?
No, not really. I think my son is going to go because he's planning to go for undergrad elsewhere.
Okay.
But बच्ची अभी छोटी है तो देखते हैं.
Got it. Do you go for parent-teacher meetings?
I did actually, but off late I haven't been a good parent that way. But yes, I did some time back, and yeah, it was interesting.
How are the teachers supposed to give you honest feedback?
I tell them, I've come here as a parent, not as some minister or something. So, बस एक बात बताते हैं आपको तन्मय कि पॉलिटिक्स हो या जो भी चीज हो, शेल्फ लाइफ हमारी बहुत कम होती है. ऐसा नहीं है कि जो हमारे पद है या जो भी हमारा एक पोजीशन है, इसको अगर ज्यादा दिल पे ले लिए और बहुत सीरियसली ज्यादा ले लिए ना, तो बहुत तकलीफ होगी आगे जाके. If you get used to the frills and everything else that surrounds it, you're going to be in for trouble. So I don't take it very seriously at all.
Is this a problem though, that I've seen you interact with a few folks now? How many of them can actually be candid, honest with you, given who you are? Like, is that something that you're aware of? Saying, listen, I'm a minister, so I have to know that they know I'm a minister. So not everything might be coming out. That's the truth.
नहीं, तो बात ये है कि मिनिस्टर होना या ना होना अलग बात है, बट ये राजनीति में, इंडिया में, that is in politics, there's a lot of sycophants. There's a lot of sycophants all around you.
Correct.
So लोग आपको आप चीखो चिल्लाओ या इवन खास भी लोग बोलेंगे कि सुपरस्टार हो.
क्या खासा है सर?
अरे क्या किया सर? So none of this. Basically it comes with the territory, it comes with the position. It's not you, the person. Correct. It is the position. Correct. So अगर आपके मेरे जगह किसी और को बिठा दो, वही चलेगा. So you can't take it seriously. In my case, I try and ensure that I get as much unadulterated feedback from social media, because that is what really tells me as to what the man on the ground is thinking, using the advantage of anonymity. In a way, but बहुत सारे लोग गाली भी देते हैं, अलग बात है.
Anonymity मतलब गाली तो
हाँ, दो भी चीज़. It's a double-edged sword. जो लोग मतलब कुछ चाहते हैं आपसे, कुछ अच्छा काम करवाना चाहते हैं, वो लोग अच्छा सा फीडबैक भी दे देते हैं.
But you're clued in to what the people have to say through social media.
Not just social media. I'm saying, see, you have to be grounded, you have to be real. To survive in this game, to survive and even to actually perform. Because आपको एक चीज याद रखना होगा तन्मय कि कोई यहाँ पे 200-300 साल जीने तो आए नहीं. Correct. और फिर दूसरी बात, हम लोग जो पद में या जो भी पब्लिक लाइफ में कोई एक पोजीशन में है, इसमें हम लोग रहेंगे या तो 5 साल 10 साल या ज्यादा से ज्यादा 20 साल. If you take it too seriously, I think you're in for trouble. And one of the things, in fact, I was telling you, In the US, when I lived there, one of the things I used to admire is, I love the White House roasts, the dinner, White House Correspondence dinner.
Yeah.
I love the way the presidents get roasted there.
Yeah.
I'm game in case you want to do it one of these days and roast me. I'd be very.
Please tell me the cameras are recording.
They are recording.
I've always wanted to get this on camera.
I can come back and I've seen how well I think Ranveer and Arjun
have held
themselves in AIB when you guys did it. So I'd be more than happy to get it. But I'm not so popular. But I'm just a minister in the state. So
we'll figure it out though.
Okay.
I want to involve your son also in this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I want your son to roast you.
That's going to be nasty.
What do you think? If people, if I had to roast you, what do you think I can probably roast you?
You want me to give you material
some fodder?
You can
use? Some fodder.
Are you kidding me? Are you seriously kidding me? Why would I do that? इसको खुद खुशी बोलते हैं.
All right, okay. I'll do my research. All right, we'll get back. We'll circle back to that. I want to begin with a very controversial question. This might split your constituency.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a very serious question, and it's whenever I've asked people, this has been very polarizing. What's the best biryani in Hyderabad?
That's going to be tough, man. But I think all forms of Hyderabadi biryani are good. I have to be politically correct on this one. Otherwise, I'll get slammed. I like, depending on the mood, man. I mean, you can go to Shagaos, you can go to Azizia, you can go to Paradise, you can go to Bawarchi. There's plenty of good biryani in Hyderabad, brother. And
good answer.
Do you actually have biryani? You're a Gujarati, I think.
No. I'm a South Indian. I'm from. I have family in Karnataka.
You should enjoy our biryani then.
Yeah, I will enjoy it. I will.
Tanmay Bhat was.
There's 5 different spots that he's mentioned today. Was that a good answer? Is that good biryani?
I think reasonably okay, man. Reasonably okay.
Reasonably okay.
Because cool. You remember, I haven't been out, to a restaurant in a while. So
yeah, it's been a while.
I know. So yes, there's plenty of new ones, I'm sure.
From what I've read about you, and from what people also tell me is, you're not, despite being from a political family, you're clearly not like a regular politician. Right, like I like to look at
politician word को इतना गाली जैसा क्यों यूज करते हो?
बन गया ना सर, अब क्या करे?
अरे बहुत गलत
बन ही तो गया है.
मुझे भी कभी का एक बार ना कोई ट्वीट करता है, बोलता है कि तुम पॉलिटिशियन हो, मुझे नहीं समझ आता है कि वो बैकहैंडेड कॉम्प्लीमेंट दे रहा है, गाली दे रहा है, क्या दे रहा है. तो आप जैसा अभी बोल रहे थे ना, मुझे तो लग रहा था गाली था.
I think I would not want to refer to you as politician because the convention, there's a hangover with the word politician.
I know, and it's disastrous.
I would call you I want to call you a CEO or a founder or something like that, which is
even that has been abused, but I'll go with that.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
So I want to treat this like a founder interview.
Okay.
It's been 8 years. Telangana is 8 years old. How far has it come? Are you happy with the progress? How's it going?
It's done phenomenally well, Tanmay. In fact, I have to tell you 2-3 things. One, just so that you have an idea, I call my state the most successful startup of independent India in 75 years of Indian independence. I think there's not been a state which has done as well in the shortest span of time that we've had. We were founded on 2nd of June 2014, about 8 years ago. My per capita, the state's per capita was 1,24,000 rupees then. Now it's 2,78,000 rupees. Our gross state domestic product, the GSDP, was 5,06,000 crores then. Now it's 11.55 lakh crores. Telangana is one of those rare states where you've seen growth in all sectors. आज हमारी IT exports जो थे 2014 में, it was 57,000 crores. Today it is 1,83,000 crores. Our agriculture has also expanded by 119%. Our per capita power consumption is the largest in the country because that's typically a barometer for the growth of a state. On the ease of doing business, we are right up there. In fact, our green cover, in case you're interested in afforestation, etc., I'd say our green cover is improved by 7.7%. We planted more than 240 crore trees and saplings. So it's a holistic state where welfare and development go hand in hand, where IT and agriculture go hand in hand, where industry and environment go hand in hand. We have done policy disruption. We've created what is called as a right to certify oneself. In the sense, if you're an entrepreneur, want to start a factory in my state, you actually don't need a clearance from the government. You can hit the ground running, start construction of your factory on day one. It's called self-certification. तो ऐसे हमने बहुत सारे चीज किए हैं और मैं सबसे अहम बात आपको बताना चाहता हूँ और क्योंकि your demographic is all Insta, I request all the guys and girls out there, go out to Google, just type in the world's largest lift irrigation project. What would pop up is Kaleshwaram project in Telangana. It's the world's largest. We built it flat in 4 years. Also, please type up while you're at it, world's largest incubator. What would pop up is T-Hub. So we've done both irrigation, information technology, we've done forestry, environment, we've done industry, we've done welfare, development, rural development, urban development. I can go on.
In fact, this new mode of governing a state, this new way of ensuring growth for a state, I'm seeing this almost like a pattern, right? Like it's a new breed of politicians. Like there's Mayor Suarez in Miami. There's the government of Dubai, which is like, very aggressively looking for growth. And oftentimes what happens is that no one likes the new kid on the block. No one likes the new revolutionary kid on the block, right? Because there's an old guard that's been governing for a very long time.
Modi ki baat kar rahe ho?
No, it's not just him. सर
आप डरते क्यों?
सर मैं 2.5-3 साल से अवॉइड कर रहा हूँ ये सब बात में घुसने के लिए.
मैं डरते
I was coming in saying I'm going to do an apolitical interview.
क्या करेगा वो? मार डालेगा? क्या करेगा? बंद करवाएगा? क्या करवाएगा?
मैं बस बोल रहा हूँ कि there's an old guard political system.
सीधा क्यों नहीं बोलते मोदी?
सर मोदी से भी पुरानी तो कांग्रेस है, फिर तो सभी को पकड़ लेते ना.
मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? You're absolutely right. Human beings are resistant to change.
Yeah, they don't like it.
Nobody like. वहाँ बैठ रहे हो. आपका राइट प्रोफाइल ठीक है तो आप बोलोगे आपके कैमरामैन को राइट प्रोफाइल ही चाहिए मुझे.
करेक्ट.
So it's one of those things. By the way, he was insisting on his right profile being showcased.
I was not insisting on this at all.
He was. I have to tell you that.
I am round from every angle. So
you're well rounded.
I'm well rounded.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's not talk about that. Let's not. I'll be accused of saying nasty things.
I'm sure there's an old guard of politicians looking at you and being like कि बड़े नंबर झाड़ने से पॉलिटिक्स नहीं आती है बेटा.
Absolutely, मैं मानता भी हूँ. बट एक बात बताते हैं आप. जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, जो भी मैं कह रहा हूँ, मैं आपको बस एक ही चीज रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा. Because politicians are good at BSing. We talk.
Correct.
For a living. तो मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा तन्मय कि आप निकलो बाहर तेलंगाना में, कैमरा लेके निकलो. 2-4 जो चीज अभी मैंने कहा उसकी हकीकत पता लगाओ, लोगों को बताओ कि मैंने अगर जब कहा कि दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी लिफ्ट इरिगेशन प्रोजेक्ट तेलंगाना में हमने 4 साल में बनाई, वो सच है या गलत है, आप लोगों के सामने रखो. जब मैं कहता हूं कि ये दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा इंक्यूबेटर है तो आप लोगों के सामने रखो. बताओ किसी को अगर मैंने झूठ बोला. मैं कहता हूं अगर कि मेरी पर कैपिटा डबल से ज्यादा हुई या मेरी GSDP डबल से ज्यादा हुई, और मैं जब कहता हूं तेलंगाना 4th लार्जेस्ट कंट्रीब्यूटर है हिंदुस्तान का 28 राज्यों में से, उसका भी हकीकत तहकीकात करो. पूछो RBI से. RBI का खुद का रिपोर्ट है, तहकीकात करने की कोई जरूरत भी नहीं है वैसे. तो मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ, whatever we have achieved, we have to showcase. And most importantly, the whole old guard versus new age thing that you just mentioned. What's important is, Tanmay, I believe that politics should only happen during elections. बाकी टाइम में economics should take center stage. क्योंकि आज हिंदुस्तान, एक चीज आपको बताते हैं सीरियस इस पे, 1987 में इंडिया और चाइना दोनों का इकोनॉमी का साइज $470 बिलियन था. 35 साल के बाद आज अगर हम देखते हैं वो बैठे हैं 16 ट्रिलियन पे. हम लोग अभी भी ख्वाब देख रहे हैं 5 ट्रिलियन का. कहाँ हम लोग, मतलब हमारी बस कहाँ छूट गई. आई थिंक दिस होल नॉनसेंस अराउंड कौन क्या पहन रहा है, क्या खा रहा है, क्या पी रहा है, एंड एक दूसरे को एक शक के नजरिए से देखना, एंड ऑल द नॉनसेंस अराउंड हलाल, हिजाब्स एंड दिस, I think it's holding us back.
Of course.
I think we as a country are a young country. 50% of our population is around 27. 65% of our population is around 35. We're a very young nation. If we channelize our energies properly, no matter who's running the country, who's running the show, I think it's important that we focus on the right things. And when I say economics should take center stage, मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ, 6 महीने तक चलाओ इलेक्शन, ठीक है, जो भी गाली गलौज करना है, तू मैं करना है कर लो. उसके बाद जो है बाकी 4.5 साल लगे रहो इकोनॉमिक्स पे, लगे रहो एम्प्लॉयमेंट पे.
When people make money, they stop caring about the other stuff. Like economic prosperity solves a lot.
Yeah, but कितने लोग बना रहे हैं? देखो, जो 1 या 2 या 3 बिलियनियर्स बनते हैं, 5th richest, 6th richest in the world बनते हैं.
Correct.
They are not representative of India. I mean, if you look at 1.4 billion Indians, please remember that this is an era where India's unemployment is at its 45-year high. India's inflation is at its 30-year high. Our LPG price is the highest in the world. किस चीज की बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग? कहाँ किसकी इंप्रूवमेंट की, किसकी इकोनॉमिक प्रॉस्पेरिटी की बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग? चंद लोगों की इकोनॉमिक प्रॉस्पेरिटी doesn't reflect on the entire country. We're still a 3 trillion economy, remember?
Correct. And the rate of female participation in urban labor, that rate of growth has been slowing down as well.
Bunch of things I can criticize the government, and I'd rather not go there. I'd only say one thing. I think we have to get our priorities right, and we have to get our act together. economics, employment. That should be the goal and mantra.
So in some sense, the Telangana model is what the
Absolutely.
country should.
Just replicate it across the country. I think you'll do well.
Yeah. You know, the last time someone came with a state model, became a prime minister.
या उसको हम गोलमाल गुजरात मॉडल बोलते हैं. आज देख रहे हैं ना, गुजरात में आज भी पावर नहीं है, बिजली नहीं है, आज भी अगर आप देखेंगे पानी नहीं है, लोग तड़प रहे हैं. आज भी गुजरात में कई सारे प्रॉब्लम.
प्लीज ये काट
काहे भाई, डरते क्यों?
नहीं, बहुत टाइम से सर कमेंट सेक्शन थोड़ा क्लीन रहा है मेरा.
तो देखो, मैं बोल रहा हूँ, तुम थोड़ी बोल रहे हो.
हाँ ठीक है, याद रखना.
मैं बोल
जो भी केस ठोकने वाला है, याद रखना.
हाँ, तन्मय ने कुछ नहीं कहा. जो भी कहा मैंने कहा, अगर केस लगाना है तो मुझ पे लगा.
सर आई रिसेंटली मूव टू बैंगलोर.
एडिट नहीं कर रहे हो ना?
नहीं, ये रख दूंगा मैं. ये वाला पार्ट तो स्पेशल 2 बार प्ले करना है इसको. ये सो आई एम अ बॉम्बे किड.
Very sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I moved to
South
Bangalore.
Bombay?
No, I was
One
from
of those
the area.
privileged rich kids? Or?
Not one of those privileged rich kids.
Okay.
My mom works in a bank. My dad used to work in HR. I moved to Bangalore 4 months ago.
फिर भी ऐसे निकले पढ़े लिखे घराने से.
I moved to Bangalore 4 months ago. I made the move full time.
Very sorry again.
Yeah. Why should I move to Hyderabad? Keeping work aside, we'll get to work. But why should I move to
You have
Hyderabad?
a great minister like me who can talk like this. You can shoot the breeze. You can record me, interview me. That's the most important factor, of course.
You're giving me a content bait now. That's a pretty strong
मैं
one.
तो बस यही कहूँगा. सिंपल बात है. आज अगर आप हिंदुस्तान में देखेंगे, not just because I'm saying this, there's an agency called Mercer, which is a global agency which rates Indian cities on livability index. Last 5 years in a row, we've been rated as a city with the best quality of living in India. Among all Indian cities.
Really?
Yes.
Where's Bangalore on that list?
2015 to 20. Why should I tell you that? Let Bangaloreans figure.
I thought you'd be keeping a close eye on it. No?
I don't really, because my competition is not with Bangalore. I'm not really worried about
Really?
it. Absolutely not. Because I'll tell you why. As a minister for industry and IT, I've been doing this job for the last 8 years. What I've realized is, when I go and meet a prospective investor, he's actually weighing between Indonesia, Malaysia, Taiwan, Thailand and India. सो इंडिया जब आना चाहता है, इंडिया का डिसीजन जब बनेगा, तब जाके वो देखता है कि कहाँ जाना है. तो मैं उसको यही बोलता हूँ कि बॉस, तेरा इंडिया का जो एक्सपीरियंस है, इंडिया का जो एक्सपीरियंस रहेगा, वो इस चीज पे निर्भर रहेगा कि तू कौन सा गेटवे चूज करेगा. अगर आप उत्तर प्रदेश से एंटर करते हो तो बहुत अलग इंडिया दिखेगा आपको. आप हैदराबाद से एंटर करोगे तो बहुत ही अलग इंडिया दिखेगा. तो आप तय कर लो कौन सी इंडिया चाहिए. आप रिसर्च ठीक से कर लो. क्योंकि जब लोग बोलते हैं कि हिंदुस्तान या इंडिया, I tell them, listen, we are not a homogeneous.
Yeah, it's not a one
There's no one India. There's
country.
28 different Indias is what I tell them. I tell them, listen, choose your gateway properly, because that will hinge your experience, your impression of India. So therefore, choose wisely is what I tell them.
So broadly, 2-3 शहर आते होंगे ना, like Bangalore, Hyderabad are in question. So उसके बाद, what's the pitch then after that? Saying,
well, I tell them two, 3 things. One, I'll say, listen, if you're looking to invest in life sciences, 1/3 of global vaccines are produced from Hyderabad.
Correct.
Human vaccines across the world.
Correct.
And 40% of India's pharmaceuticals are from Hyderabad.
Correct.
The largest number of US FDA approved manufacturing facilities in pharma in any state in the world are in Telangana. Second largest is in New Jersey. This is the life sciences spectrum. And we don't only believe, in fact, I keep telling them, listen, Hyderabad is that place where North of India meets the South of India, where biology marries technology, where data sciences marries life sciences, where Mangoverse meets Metaverse. Now, that sort of a story. So, Hyderabad is that comprehensive, brilliant location where biryani meets paratha. So, it's one of those lovely cities where nobody feels like an alien. You are not constrained by language. You're not constrained by anything. Communal harmony is intact. Our weather is decent. Our infrastructure is much better than Bangalore. Let me tell you. And most importantly, we have a progressive, forward-looking government.
So, last time someone abbreviated and rhymed so well, became prime minister. I'm just saying. Just making note. Just making note. Okay, that's a pretty compelling argument. You went to Davos recently. I want to know that experience, because I had a couple of friends who also went there. One of them was a creator, and he said that, I just want to know if it's true. He said that it's a small town suburb. It's kind of shut down for the World Economic Forum.
Correct.
You see a lot of global leaders, including presidents and prime ministers, and you can bump into them at a bar.
Absolutely.
Is that true?
It is absolutely true. You'll see Mukesh Ambani strutting on the streets all alone, carrying his bag. You'll see Shah Rukh Khan on the other road also.
Really?
On the footpath. Yeah, it's basically a town which is like 20,000 people or 15,000 people. Maybe it's a small town. And then it is shut for that entire week for about 3,000 guests who descend. from across the world. It is my fourth time rather. The last time I was there. So yeah, it is actually very, very useful because जिन लोगों से आप 3 दिन में मिलते हो, मैं normally एक 45-50 मीटिंग कर लेता हूँ because I work from 7 in the morning to like 10 in the evening. So the kind of people you would meet there over a period of 3 days, you'd not be able to meet them otherwise in over a year or two.
Do you go with the plan?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you basically set up a lot of meetings. You basically also become part of you'll get number of invites, you'll get number of meeting requests. तो आप तय करते हो कि आपको किससे मिलना है और आपको किससे मिलने का इंटरेस्ट है. बहुत सारे लोगों के साथ वहाँ नेटवर्किंग बन जाती है, एक रिलेशन बन जाती है. एक एग्जांपल आपको देता हूँ मैं. सेल्स फोर्स वहाँ पे एक लंच होस्ट करती है, बहुत एक्सक्लूसिव है, 50 लोग रहते हैं, उसमें हम भी है. तो हम गए थे वहाँ पे क्योंकि सेल्स फोर्स की सेकंड लार्जेस्ट ऑफिस हैदराबाद में, इसीलिए बुलाते हैं क्योंकि मेरे लिए नहीं, पर्सनली कोई नहीं. देन देयर इज वेरी नाइस कूल what do you call it, a panel discussion that Mark Benioff does. There is Yo-Yo Ma, there is क्या नाम है उसका यार, Al Gore, there is Jane Goodall, and then there is all the cool people.
Pretty cool room, yeah.
Will I Am, all these guys, right? So you're listening into all that. There's a guy seated next to you. I said, hi, I'm Ram, I'm from Telangana. And that guy goes, I'm James, I'm from Coca-Cola. I'm like, okay, कोई होगा. फिर बाद में पता चला कि वो कोका-कोला का CEO था यार, James Quincy. So that sort of chance meetings, that sort of connections, that sort of networking that happens there is unparalleled. I think it's very brilliant, and yeah, it's a great place to network, interact, make an impression. And Telangana, in fact, this time around, we kicked ass because we did really well. We had a beautiful pavilion. We had a number of very, very interested entrepreneurs dropping in, saying hello, and basically it's a great place for us to connect.
Do you convince someone to come to Hyderabad, saying your route to India should be through us?
Plenty of
Any exclusives that you can give us here?
वो तो ऑलरेडी रिलीज कर दिया है.
अच्छा कर दिया क्या? अच्छा
कर दिया. और फिर अभी कुछ लोग और भी आ रहे हैं. फिर आप अगली बार आओ तो बैंगलोर छोड़ के हैदराबाद जब शिफ्ट हो जाएगा तब मारते हैं.
First, I want to know your relationship with your dad. What is that like? And the second part of that question is, do you guys disagree, and how much are you allowed to disagree?
मेरे बॉस भी हैं वो.
Correct.
आपको याद रखना होगा. Do you disagree with your boss?
Very, very politely. Depends on how much leeway he gives.
That's exactly what I do. I disagree, but we disagree very furtively, very privately. But of course,
what do you guys disagree on?
Bunch of things. I mean, there's a generational thing always. See, me and my son disagree on a number of things. So me and my father also disagree on a number of things. Why would I not? I mean, it's a generational thing. He's much older. He's seen the world, for far longer. So his viewpoint is hinged on his world observations and his experiences. So mine is completely predicated on my own life and my own thinking. So of course we differ on a number of things, but he's the boss. So when I go out into public after the decision is made on whatever, whether it comes to my party or the government, I back him to the full, and I stand by him no matter what. What
are some qualities that people would say ki, like father, like son?
Oh no. Trust me, I'm nothing like him. He's a first generation guy who's built up everything by himself. The political party, he's built up his career, and whatever he is today is because of him. Whatever I am is because of him also. So therefore, there's not much of similarity that way. So therefore, I would not, go to the extent of comparing myself to an achiever like him. I'm just somebody who's following in his footsteps, doing my best, but I would not have the audacity to compare myself to him. I think that would be too much of a stretch.
So polite disagreements. We'll say polite disagreements. I was
when did you become Arnab Goswami now? You're making notes.
I'm not. I'm just taking questions off. I'm taking questions off. That's all. I don't have notes. Also, I don't think neither does Arnab. I was talking to a founder on my way here. He has a Decacon, and he was telling me that a lot of the founders, first of all, the growth is so parabolic, right? It takes just a few years for them to become massive. They find themselves in a situation they have to work with states. So often public policy, government relations, that sort of stuff is usually, late chamakta hai unko. So what advice would you have for tech entrepreneurs when it comes to operating with the government and policy and regulation? How should they think about it? Is there anything specific that you've seen?
Absolutely. In fact, as technologies emerge, as technologies evolve, I think governments always kind of play catch up in terms of regulatory framework, in terms of just understanding how that is going to revolutionize the current offline businesses. For example, when e-commerce came in, a lot of governments were confused about tax department. A lot of governments, tax departments were confused कि कैसे handle करें. तो जैसे एक experience narrate करता हूँ आपको. हम लोग एक बार 8 साल पहले एक फ्लाइट में थे, दिल्ली से कहीं हैदराबाद वापस आ रहे थे, तो अमेजोन वाले मिल गए. मैंने पूछा क्या चल रहा है, तो बोलते हैं कि सर कर्नाटक में थोड़ा टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट के साथ हमारा पंगा चल रहा है, वो लोग समझते नहीं है. तो मैं बोला एक काम करो, आप आ जाओ हैदराबाद, हम लोग अगले हफ्ते एक मीटिंग करते हैं. आ गए हैदराबाद नेक्स्ट वीक, एंड देन वी स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग एंड दे वर वेरी हैप्पी विद व्हाट हैपेंड एंड दे सेड ओके we'll set up a fulfillment center to begin with. What happens is once you get that buy-in, that confidence, today, after that simple conversation on the flight, we went from strength to strength. We started off with a simple fulfillment center. Now today we have Asia's largest fulfillment center. We have Amazon's world's largest campus here. And we also have recently gotten a $3 billion check for Amazon's world's one of the largest data centers. So it all depends on how the government looks at you. Do I look at you as just an investor or a partner? I look at my investors as my partners because I believe that I have to walk with them through the vagaries of evolving technologies and regulatory framework that also has to, be groomed or nurtured co-synchronously. So I am that state. We are that state which actually takes a closer approach towards how things and how businesses need to evolve with times and with everything else around us. So what I would advise to the tech entrepreneurs is choose the right kind of ecosystem, choose the right kind of partner in a government. Because in India, if you look around, while there are 28 states, I would say there are 4 or 5 serious states which go all out to attract investments. There are even more fewer which actually have the gall to take up your issue with government of India. See, आप जाके बात कर सकते हो प्रधानमंत्री से, फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर से, कॉमर्स मिनिस्टर से, पर आप जब जाते हो आप एक वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट पार्टी बन जाते हो क्योंकि आप अपने राइट के लिए मांग रहे हो. बट हम जब चलते हैं उनके पास और कहते हैं कि इंडस्ट्री की तरफ से हम बात कर रहे हैं, वी बिकम अ पॉलिसी एडवोकेट. आई थिंक दैट इज व्हाट वी ऑफर in terms of policy advocacy, in terms of hand holding, in terms of mentoring, in terms of just nurturing a startup through the vagaries of growth.
Pretty long-winded way to say come to Hyderabad.
Absolutely. I mean, shortcut mein to aapne bol diya. Thank you.
Sir, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs when it comes to public policy? Come to Hyderabad.
Yes, absolutely. Come to Hyderabad. There's no better place.
No, I understand what you mean because you were one of the first to sign an MOU with Uber. I remember Akshay Bedi, who used to be at Uber at that time, is a friend of mine now.
Uber's second largest campus in the world is also in Hyderabad now.
Yeah. And at that time, Uber was banned, I remember, and you signed the MOU.
Correct.
Which makes me wonder, do you have any thoughts on crypto, given that it's in a regulatory gray? But like, I understand the concerns with crypto, but there's also a, really positive side to it, which is entrepreneurship. A lot of crypto builders are going to Dubai. Have you thought about crypto?
Absolutely. Crypto and Web3, these two platforms. In fact, one of the things that I want to do, and my principal secretary has been on top of this, is we want to take it up with Government of India and understand exactly what their concerns are. And we also want to play that role of, kind of being the sort of advocate partner for the industry. Because on the one hand, we have government saying there is not enough clarity on how to go about handling crypto. At the same time, the government went ahead and charged or put a tax on crypto in the budget. So it was a bit of a ambivalent stance, so to speak. So yes, absolutely. I would be more than happy to work with the crypto industry guys, the leaders who are migrating to Dubai and other places, to sit with them, have a conversation with them, and go and meet with the finance minister, commerce minister, and IT minister, and tell them that we can't afford to have this.
We recently did a hacker house in Bangalore, so maybe we can have one in Hyderabad next
Absolutely. Kab karna hai batao, main taarikh aaj hi तय कर लूं.
Let's talk about T-Hub. T-Hub 2.0. What's special about it? What are you excited about? What would be a successful metric for you to see in a few years?
Tanmay, this is not just about T-Hub. What you see here is, of course, the cool building, the cool interiors, the physical space of it, the enormity of it. It's the world's largest incubator. The total built up is about 580,000. The carpet area is 370. It can house 2,000 plus startups under one single roof. It has a VC launch. It has a bunch of things that a startup would require to just get going. Innovate, incubate, incorporate is what our mantra has been. But if you look around, the entire campus is about 18 acres. T-Hub is one part of it, about 3 acres. Adjacent to this is T-Works, which is India's largest prototyping facility.
Yeah, it's massive.
It is where you'll have a lot of hardware prototypes being developed, and it will be unveiled in August of this year. Next year, we'll be unveiling what is called as Image Tower, Innovation in Animation, Multimedia, Gaming and Entertainment. And it would be a 1.6 million square foot of facility. All in all, these 18 acres together will be the world's largest innovation campus, where you'd have thousands of startups working from under one roof. तन्मय क्या होता है ना, US में और बाकी यूरोप में और बाकी जगह, कहीं सारे जगह आपको universities have become sort of the bedrock of innovation, because a lot of R&D happens there, and a lot of enterprises have come out of universities in the West. इंडिया में क्योंकि हमारे पास पैसा ज़्यादा गवर्नमेंट के पास होता नहीं है, तो इसीलिए हम लोग यूनिवर्सिटी फंडिंग, स्पेशली ऑन R&D, we kind of squeeze it. So not a lot of innovators actually come out of the university system. We wanted to build out this campus as that one platform from the government of Telangana, which will be a unique single-stop shop where any Indian entrepreneur, any Indian kid who wants to come and innovate, who wants to come and create a world-class product or offering. Now, what is the successful metric for me, say 5 years from now? I'd say, I'm not in the, of course, I'd love some unicorns, some more unicorns. I have 4, but I want at least, 10x of that, of course. But that is not the only successful metric to measure success, because out of the 100 plus unicorns in India, only 18% are profitable. Correct. In terms of operational profits. So I would rather not get, completely fixated on unicorns, but I'd rather, focus on, because अगर आप देखेंगे 100 से ज़्यादा यूनिकॉर्न है, इनमें से कितने यूनिकॉर्न्स ने अर्थ शैटरिंग इन्वेंशंस या ग्लोबल सर्विस या ग्लोबल प्रोडक्ट को लॉन्च किया. बहुत सारे लोग इमिटेटर हैं, मीटू है, कॉपी कैट्स है, बट with all due respect to them, they've done well. I'm glad they're creating employment, they're creating wealth for the country. None of the Indian startups so far have been able to come out with a, globally accepted service or a product. I want a Hyderabadi startup. Freshworks has done well, but I think again, long way to go before it becomes a Google or a acceptance at the level of a Google or a Salesforce or any other services, large services or product company. So yes, there are some who have done well, but again, to get there into that orbit, that league is what I think would be a great metric for an Indian startup, and that too, if it happens from Hyderabad, I'd be thrilled.
Chasing profitability, sir. Little VC vibe also I got. It was good.
Fantastic.
Founder, CEO, VC vibe also. I met some young folks last night when I got in. Okay. So I'm meeting KTR. What would you like to ask them? Wow. So I'm going to ask one question. Okay. One of them that he asked. I know what he's saying, but I'd like to show.
KTR sir name adagalanundante. Okay, 2 years back, it was fun living in Hyderabad. It was more engaging. It was fun. The nightlife was good. Suddenly, post-pandemic, the nightlife has been very bad. And I'm completely comparing this with Bangalore. So I don't know what is going wrong and what can you tell about that?
Sir, the youth are asking about nightlife in Hyderabad.
एक बात बताते हैं. नाइट लाइफ भी ठीक होना चाहिए, डे लाइफ भी ठीक होना चाहिए. बैंगलोर का डे लाइफ बहुत गड़बड़ है. बैंगलोर का डे लाइफ बहुत गड़बड़ इसीलिए है क्योंकि 3-3 घंटे आपको ट्रैफिक में बैठना. अच्छा. तो नाइट लाइफ भी जरूरी है, डे लाइफ भी जरूरी है. बैलेंस
सही जगह पे मारा है मतलब.
हाँ, एकदम सोचने की बात है. मैं भी फंस गया था इस बीच में जब आया था बैंगलोर में, ट्रैफिक में 2.5 घंटा बैठना पड़ा. तो मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ, नाइट लाइफ जरूरी है, मैं समझता हूँ, बट वो एक ही चीज पे हिंज नहीं करता है. Wealth creation or the vibe of a city. It is important we have a vibrant nightlife. Maybe my brother there wants a more vibrant nightlife, but maybe. So मैं कह रहा हूँ कि we have to do a fine balance, because
party in the day, guys.
No, I'm not saying party in the day. I'm saying work in the day, party a bit in the evening, not go late into the night, because you have to work the next day.
You have to work the next day as well.
Unlike Tanmay, we all have real jobs.
That's fair enough. Thank you so much, Ram. Cheers. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Do hit like, do subscribe, and do check Ram out on Twitter and Instagram.
Thank you.
Drop him a comment. Let him know what this interview was like.
Thank you. Appreciate it.